Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the video for Elden Ring. My name is Ventus SGN. In this Elden Ring video guide, I'm going to show you how to get Fire Knight Queelin's Greatsword. Queelin's Greatsword is a powerful Shadow of the Erdtree DLC heavy thrusting weapon that comes with attribute scaling of D Strength, C Dexterity, and D Faith. This weapon is dropped by going on a small quest where you defeat Fire Knight Queeling twice and then give him an Iris of Occultation. You actually get not only the Greatsword by defeating Queelign, but also a pretty strong Ash of War called Flame Skewer. Now really quickly, before I show you how to do all of these things, do me a very small favor. It doesn't cost you a thing. Please subscribe to this channel with all notifications on for Elden Ring and like the video. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do in order to get Queelin's Greatsword is to head to Castle Insis and defeat R'Lana. This gains you access to the High Road Cross Site of Grace. The next part you can do in any order, and that is fight Fire Knight Queelinn as an invader twice. Fire Knight Queelinn appears in two locations around the map. One is at the Church of the Crusade, seen here on my map. This area is only accessible after you defeat the boss at Castle Insis. The second location to fight Fire Knight Queelinn as an invader is the graveyard at Beloret Tower Settlement. From the Beloret Tower Settlement Site of Grace, follow my character's on-screen progression to get to the graveyard. Queelinn is a Fire Knight, and as such, he uses a lot of fire spells, so be sure to equip your character with as much fire protection as possible, and don't be a dummy like I was. Do not use fire against him because he is super resistant to fire. When you defeat Fire Knight Queelign the first time, no matter which location you defeat him at, he drops the Crusadia Insignia, a talisman that raises your character's attack power after defeating an enemy. According to Fextra Life, this buff gives you an extra 15% attack power for 20 seconds. The second time that you defeat Fire Knight Queelign, he drops the Ash of War for Flame Skewer and the Prayer Room Key. The Prayer Room Key is the item needed to access the room where you can find Queelign in the Sunken Church area behind Shadow Keep, which is exactly where you need to go to finish up the quest and receive the Greatsword. When you get to the prayer room where Queelign is dying, you will need to give him an Iris of Occultation. Now, if you don't have one of these Iris of Occultations yet, there is one in the Sunken Church area that you can get, but only after defeating one of the ulcerated tree spirits that can be found after draining the water in the area. If you haven't yet explored this area behind Shadow Keep, follow my character's on-screen progress from the High Road Cross Site of Grace to get there. Once you get to the church district site of Grace, you must do a series of roof jumps to get to the water wheel crank. If you're having trouble making the jumps that you see my character doing, simply hold the run button down on the PS5 controller while jumping. There are a few Fire Knights in the area, so be sure to take care of them first. Once you drain the water by turning the water wheel crank, first head to the Sunken Chapel site of Grace before heading out into the church grounds, because there are 2 ulcerated tree spirits in the area. The first one that you fight attacks you as you enter the center of the church grounds. This one drops a spell called Mantle of Thorns when you defeat it. The second ulcerated tree spirit will attack you upon further exploring the church grounds, and when you defeat this one, it drops an Iris of Occultation, the final item needed to get Queelin's Greatsword. Also, after you defeat the tree spirits, you can pick up the Fire Knight's Finger Seal that boosts Mesmer's Flame incantation. The seal is actually in the exact chapel where you need to go, just north of the Sunken Chapel site of grace. If you look on the map closely, you can see the broken hole in the roof of the building. In this chapel, there is a Fire Knight that summons fire spirits and shoots a non-stop hail of fire spells. When you defeat the spirit summoning Fire Knight, head behind the altar he was protecting and find the Fire Knight seal on a decaying body. Next, head to the elevator in this same chapel and take it up to the higher levels that you navigated earlier to get to the water wheel crank. Head back down the hallway to the opposite end of the hallway from the elevator, dealing with both of the Fire Knights patrolling the breezeways. The first one you can avoid by letting him walk his natural route to another part of the area, but the second one at the other end of the hallway you will have to fight. Once you make it to the other end of the hallway, head to the prayer room and use the prayer room key to enter the room and find Queelign on the ground. Talk to him and give him the Iris of Occultation. This gets him to drop his Greatsword. Alternately, if you give him an Iris of Grace, he drops his Spirit Ashes. Now, if this video was helpful to you in any way, you can show me your thanks by liking the video. For more, please head to my channel and check out my playlist for Elden Ring. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.
I would not. Am I not pure? Defile thee, I would never. I ask, why wouldst thou think to purloin from me? Deignest thou not to look upon me? All this time, I held in my heart only thee.